Let's get started with this session today, and I hope that you have downloaded the exercise that we will be discussing today. Okay, let me just, in any case, open YouTube also and see if all of if visibility is fine. Yes, this is fine. Okay, great. Okay, so let's get started with the session. Okay, and this is the 13th session in a series. We have done a couple of other sessions which were not about Jugaad, but so I'm not counting them. Otherwise, I think it's about 50 odd sessions. Okay, okay. So before we start the session, first thing I want to talk about is this: the All India Open Mock, All India Open CDC Mock 2. Okay, please make sure you have enrolled for this. And there's something very interesting. This is actually being conducted in an actual center. You will have to visit the center. You will be shared an admit card. You can choose a city. You can and a slot. But you will not be given an option of a center. The center will be allotted to you within the city, as happens in CAT. And then you'll take the paper. You'll go through the same process of identification, approval, your biometric also possibly, and then you can take the paper in an actual test center. Okay, so this is typically how CAT is conducted, and that is what we are trying to give you a feel of. And so my suggestion is, if you have not registered for it as yet, please do so. If you are an existing Career Launcher Classroom, night class, online class student, this is free for you. For the others, there's a nominal charge. So all Career Launcher Classroom, night class, online students, definitely register for it immediately and make sure you take this paper. Okay, so I'll hope to see you in the analysis of this particular session after you have taken the paper. Okay, great. So let's move on to the session. Okay, again, just to repeat quickly, we are talking about section 2 of CAT, which is DILR, Data Interpretation Logical Reasoning, which typically has 22 questions. And when I say typically, in CAT 24, it was 22, and it is expected CAT 25 will also be 22 questions. This was in 5 sets of data. Okay. And what is a good performance in CAT? Typically, the good performance in DILR varies from year to year depending on the number of sets and the level of difficulty of the data sets. Okay. However, in general, it has been found if you get a 50% marks, okay, if you get 50% marks, you will be anything between 97.5 to 99.5 percentile. Okay. In the worst case, it is likely to be a 97 percentile. So let me put 97 to 99.5 percentile is what you will definitely get. That has been the trend. And you can look at the last 5 years CAT papers. The number of questions has varied. So the maximum possible marks again are hence different for each of the different for the different years. Okay, CAT 21, 22, 23. These are 20 questions, 60 mark papers. While CAT 2020 and CAT 24 have a slightly higher number of questions. Okay, so when you look at these particular papers, let's look at each of them. Let's see what 50% marks are equaling to. In CAT 2020, 72 marks, 50% marks would be 36 marks, which means you would be above 99 percentile at 50% marks in CAT 2020. CAT 2021, 60 marks, 22, 60 marks, 23, 60 marks. That means 50% would be 30 marks. 30 marks in CAT 21 would have got you something like a 97.5 percentile. 30 marks in CAT 22 would have got you above 99 percentile. 30 marks in CAT 23 would have got you almost 99.5 percentile. So look at the variation, and it is by and large around 50% marks that we are looking at. And last year, which is CAT 24, 50% marks would be 33 marks. That would again be something like a, oh, sorry, not here. That would be something like a 97.5 percentile. So 33 marks would have been something around 97.5 percentile. So which is why I said, if you are getting this much score, you should be able to get comfortably a 97 to 99.5 percentile. Now, if you are at a 97 percentile level, how do you move to a 97.5 percentile? By applying Jugaad. That is what this session is all about. By application of Jaggar, you can typically do one set extra in the paper, or you will save sufficient time to do one extra set in the paper. and that can propel you from and one extra set means 4 questions. Even if you get 4 questions, 12 marks. But even if you get 6 marks extra, okay, even if you get 6 marks extra, last year 6 marks extra from 33, you would have been 39. Last to last year from 30, it would have been 37. So even doing 2 extra questions can change your percentile significantly. And at the upper end, if you can do 4 questions or 1 complete set extra correctly, your scores will zoom up to 99.89 percentile very, very comfortably. And that is what we are targeting. So what is Jugaad? First of all, Jugaad is not a shortcut technique. It's an approach. It's a problem-solving approach. It is a process that we need to follow. If you follow the process to the T, you will typically find you will be able to solve higher number of questions, shorter span of time. Secondly, the focus of Jugaad is to use all available information. Okay? So all available information, and remember, information is available to us not only in questions, not only in the data, but also in the question and choices. Secondly, the focus of Jugaad is on solving questions. Okay? Unfortunately, many students focus on filling up the table. So your job as a CAT aspirant is not to focus on filling up the table. You fill up the table keeping the question in mind. So your focus has to be on solving the question, and to solve the question, whatever amount of table we need to fill up, we'll do only that much. We will not do anything extra. Okay? So this is what we are talking about. Okay? Now, what is the basic process we talk about? DILR is the basic tactical guide that we look at. D stands for decipher, I for identify, L for layout, R for resolve. Okay? Now, what is this? D? Decipher means go through the data given to you, the information given, understand it, so that you understand what is that you're supposed to do. If you can't decipher, if the comprehension about the data set is not there, then obviously set का कोई फायदा नहीं, उसको तुम नहीं कर पाओगे. The second part is to go to the questions, and when you go to the question, your job is to identify. So while going through the data set is decipher, I is for identifying the information within the questions. The questions give you information. They tell you whether you can solve the data set or not. They tell you whether there will be multiple cases or not. They will also possibly many times give you specific information which will help you fill up the table. Okay? So that is the I or the identification part. Then what is layout? That is the tabulation part. How you tabulate the table. You tabulate the table keeping the question in mind, and whatever information you pick up from the table, you also you from the question. Sorry, so information you pick up from the question, it has to be fed into the table or the data tabulation that you're doing. And what is resolution? Solving the question. Unfortunately, many students make these two as sequential. That I'll first make the table, complete the table, then go to the question. No, that's a stupid way of doing it. These two things have to go hand in hand, and these two things have to happen after you have gone through the choices, because only when you have looked at the question and the choices will you understand what is the process to be followed and how much information is required and to what extent the table needs to be filled up. Okay. Okay. So, and as I said in the beginning, I hope you have downloaded the exercise. If you have not downloaded the exercise, please scan this QR code. When you scan this QR code, you will go to the OpenCAT program, GP ka Jugaad tab you will find. And there under DILR, all these sessions which I have taken so far are given. They have a PDF and a video. Okay. The latest session, which is today's session, that will be session number 13. It will also have the PDF there. Obviously, the video will be uploaded after today. The PDF will be there. Please download the PDF of the session today, so that you know what is the set we are going to do. Download that PDF and put this session on pause. Solve that PDF, solve that data set yourself, and then come back and continue with the session. There's no point doing the session without solving the data set. And about the earlier sessions which you have missed, then do the same thing. Supposing you did the other session but missed session 6, what should you do? Download the PDF, solve it, and then go to the questions, go to the video and see how we solve the session or data set, and that should hopefully help you understand the process of what we are trying to do. Okay? And OpenCAT also has many other things which will be useful, lots of free study material for you to prepare. Okay. Okay. So let's look at this particular CAT this data set from CAT 2018 slot 1. Now this is a comparatively simple set. I've always maintained, but this is the kind of set that students leave. मैंने ये देखा है, anything which is new, anything which is different, anything that we are not familiar with. I have seen students leaving all these sets straight away. The answer leave. Students tend to give extra focus on familiarity. To me, familiarity is not important. And I usually find sets which we are not familiar with, possibly because those kind of data sets are coming for the first time, typically are easy. Okay? But on the contrary, sets that you are familiar with, familiar sets typically become a little difficult because they are familiar. So the examiner or the paper setters also think students already reached a certain level of comfort in this. So let me try and make that a little more difficult. So familiarity is something which is overrated. It is always important that whenever you have a new or different kind of data set, the kind of set you have not seen earlier, don't leave it, go through it, understand, and then decide how to go, whether to do it or not. Don't just leave it because यार कुछ अजीब सी नई चीज पहली बार देख रहा हूं मैं. Okay. Okay. I'm just checking if there are any questions out here. Okay. So no question, but if there are any questions, feel free to post them on the chat box and I'll try to address them. So let's look at this particular data set. Small data set. Let's go through it. You are given an n by n square matrix to be filled with numerals so that no two adjacent cells have the same numeral. Two cells are called adjacent if they touch each other horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. So a cell in one of the four corners has three cells adjacent to it, and a cell in the first or the last row or column which is not in the corner has 5 cells adjacent to it. Any other cell has 8 cells adjacent to it. So many times students say पता नहीं क्या drawing करने को बोल रहा है छोड़ देते हैं. That is what happened in CAT 2018. Large number of students, the majority of students actually did not attempt this set. They just left it. But let's try to understand, let's try to decipher what it is saying. It's saying any n by n square matrix. Let's draw a square matrix. N by n means let's do a 4 by 4 कर लेते हैं चलो. Let's do a 4 by 4 matrix. Yeah. So this is a 4 by 4 matrix. Okay. No two adjacent cells can have the same numeral. Okay. Now what is adjacency defined as? Two cells are called adjacent if they touch either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. So if I look at this particular top left-hand corner cell, what are the adjacent cells? 1, 2, and 3. Touching horizontally, touching vertically, touching diagonally. So that is what. So a cell in one of the four corners has 3 cells adjacent to it. Okay, this much we understand. So the job is to draw the figure if required to understand. And a cell in the first or last row which is not in the corner. Let's take this cell. Not in the corner. How many adjacent cells? 5. Let's verify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 horizontally, 1 vertically, and 2 diagonally. Perfectly fine. Any other cell has 8 cells adjacent to it. So something which is not in the top or the bottom row or the left hand or the right hand corner. Let's look at this particular cell. How many adjacent cells will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 horizontal, 2 vertical, and then 4 diagonal. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So easy to understand. That's the first thing which you need to be clear that okay, this is what it's talking about. Many times people even pata nahi kya hai, we'll have to draw, we'll have to find out. Yes, we have to find out. Okay. Now let's look at the questions. There's something interesting in the questions. Question number 1. Minimum number of different numerals needed to fill a 3 by 3 square matrix. इसी पे लोगों ने छोड़ दिया था. These are minima, maxima. Next question is also minimum number of different numerals needed to fill a 5 by 5 square matrix. Okay. So many students will left the set unnecessarily because it talked about minimum number and then it is not one particular combination. There's a 3 by 3 matrix and a 5 by 5 matrix. So both of them are there. That means I have to do work. No, there's a good thing actually. Using a 3 by 3 matrix, I can always identify the process or the formula or the algorithm or the logic and apply it in the 5 by 5 matrix. There's a very beautifully worded thing. In fact, deliberately, I would say that the setter would have given the 3 by 3 matrix, square matrix question first, so that you can understand the logic and apply it in 5 by 5. Okay. So, two questions, both are theta. Okay. So what are the challenges I have for the student? First thing, new kind of data set. Second, minima, maxima. Third thing, there's a 3 by 3, there's a 5 by 5, and there's a theta all in addition to it. So, भैया सब जगह लोगों को negative दिखता है. Question 4, question 3. Supposing you are allowed to make one mistake. That is, one pair of adjacent cells can have the same numeral. What is the minimum number of different numerals? Again, minimum number. But this is about 5 by 5 matrix. So, question number 2 and question number 3 both are about 5 by 5 matrix. And question number says minimum number to fill. And question 3 says minimum number to fill with one mistake. Okay. Minimum number to fill with one mistake should be lesser or more. Okay. For example, if I need, let's say, 8 numerals to fill a 5 by 5 matrix. So if I'm making one mistake, then the number of numerals required should be less than 8. Okay. So that is what is the connection, and that is what I should be able to understand. Secondly, because both of them are 5 by 5, the same table should work. Last question. Again about 5 by 5 matrix. Very good. Because the 5 by 5 square matrix again it means question 2, 3, 4 are similar as far as I'm concerned. Suppose that all cells adjacent to a particular cell must have different numerals. So here the rule has been changed. Here it is saying all cells that are adjacent should have different numerals. Okay. Earlier it said no two cells can have the same numeral. Now it is saying different numerals. So I'll have to now do it again. But the interesting thing, as I said, question 2, 3, 4 are about 5 by 5 matrix. Question 1 is about a 3 by 3 matrix. तो पहले 3 by 3 से लॉजिक समझ लेंगे, उसको हम बाकी 3 में अप्लाई कर देंगे. That's only thing we needed to do out here. चलो आगे चलते हैं. लेट्स सी, सॉल्व कर लें. मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ डिफरेंट न्यूमरल्स नीडेड टू फिल अ 3 by 3 मैट्रिक्स. ओके, चलो इस पे आते हैं. 3 by 3 बनाए हुए ना 3 by 3. मैं क्यों बेकार में गंदा सा टेबल मैं बनाऊंगा. I'll put a table out here. So let's see. What is the condition given to us? No two adjacent cells can have same numeral. Okay. So, if I put a 1 out here, I cannot have a 1 in any of these 3, isn't it? These 3 should have a different numeral. So, what can they be? 2. If I have a 2 here, can I have a 2 here? No. 2 here? No. 2 here? No. Okay. I cannot have a 2 here also. Okay. So, what can I put here? Can I put a 2? I cannot put 2, so let me put a third numeral 3. What about this one? So 1 we have fixed and others we are adjusting accordingly as per the condition. This one cannot be 1, 2 or 3 because this particular cell is adjacent to all these 3 cells. So this cannot be 1, 2 or 3. This has to be 4. Right? Now what about this one? Yes. What about these two rather? Can these two have 3, 4? No. What do I want? I want the minimum number of numerals. If I want the minimum number of different numerals, I should try to make use of the existing numerals only. Okay. Okay. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I put 1, 2, 3, 4 here? 1, 2, or 3 or 4 here? Can I put a 1 here? Yes, I can. Why? Because this particular cell and these are different. These two are different. These two cannot be 1 again. So I'll put a 2 out here. Is this clear, everyone? Any doubts? Thank you, Rudra. Any doubts? If there are no doubts, can you see a pattern? The first and the third row are the same. Isn't it? If first and third row are the same, can I not try doing the same thing for first and third column? Let me try to do. What if I do 1, 3, 1 here? Am I satisfying all the conditions? This particular cell has 2, 3, 4 around it. Okay, I'll just put the highlighter. The second cell is different from this cell, different from this, different from this, different from this, different from this one. Okay. So what is it that we have been able to find out? Similarly for the other cells also. So what we have found out is first and third column are the same and first and third column are the same. Which also means if I am doing a 5 cell, if I look at the 5 wala matrix, what should I be doing? First, third and fifth should be the same columns. Similarly, second, third and fifth columns, those should be the same. Sorry, first, third and fifth rows should be the same. And second and fourth column should be the same. Row should be the same. Second and fourth row column should be the same. So this is alternating which is happening. So question number 1, we can say the answer is 4 because we have used only 4 numerals. But more than that, we have been able to identify कि भैया इसका simple logic है. First, third, fifth column have to be the same. First, third, fifth row have to be the same. Second, fourth row have to be the same. Second, fourth column has to be the same. अब करते हैं. Now ये हमने logic apply करी है. We have understood those logic and that is what we will use in question 2, 3, 4. Question 2. Minimum number of different numerals needed to fill a 5 by 5 square matrix. I'll do the same thing out here. If this is 1, 2, what about this one? Has to be 3 and 4. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4. First and third have to be the same. Second and fourth have to be the same. Third and fifth have to be the same. Okay. No issues, I hope. Okay. Second thing, first, third, and fifth column have to be the same. So 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. Similarly, fifth, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. And second and fourth column have to be the same. 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. The most important thing I have always maintained in the set was कि भैया पहले set से logic समझो. It is not about getting the answer. Answer is important, but more important than the answer is understanding the logic of filling. If you can get the logic of filling in place, then whether it is a 3 by 3, 5 by 5, 10 by 10, it does not matter. Okay. Now what is the minimum number of numerals required to fill a 5 by 5 square matrix? It has to be 4. We have just filled up this thing. Using the same logic of set number of 3 by 3, we have used it for 5 by 5 also. Okay. Done? No issues, I hope, so far. Third question. You are allowed to make one mistake. That is, one pair of adjacent cells can have the same numeral. What is the minimum number of different numerals required for 5 by 5 matrix? Now, if in the earlier case where there were no mistakes, you had 4 numerals. If I make a mistake, the numerals can only reduce. So I can say answer to this question should be less than equal to 4. Right? If I make a mistake, supposing इसको मैंने 1 कर दिया. Obviously, it is a mistake. I am allowed to make one mistake. Okay. But because of that, the number of numerals can only reduce, it cannot go up. Okay. So that means my answer should be less than equal to 4. Look at these stupid choices. ये CAT का सवाल है, CAT का data set है. Choices सामने दिखनी है तुमको. Okay. So question 1, 2, 3 were using question 1 logic. We have got question 2 and question 3, and question 3 we have not even solved. सीधा जुगाड़ लगाया, बोला भैया answer has to be answer to question 3 has to be less than equal to answer of question 2. Okay. Chalo. Last question. Suppose that all the cells adjacent to a particular cell must have different numerals. All the cells adjacent to a particular cell must have different numerals. Okay. What is the minimum number of numerals required to fill a 5 by 5 square matrix? Okay. First thing. Or other than 2, 3 things that we look at, but pehli cheez. Can I say in this case, because any cell must have different numerals around it. For example, out here, we have done 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 3. यही किया था ना? What did it say? नहीं यार, Around 2, you already have 1, 3, and 4. So these two cannot be 3, 4. These will have to be 5 and 6. Right? This is what it means. All cells around a particular cell, adjacent to a particular cell, must be different. Similarly, what will be the number here? 3 is already touching 1, 2, 3. 3 is already touching 1, 2, 4. So this can be 5. Right? What about this one? Okay. This one should be 1, 4 is being touched by 2, 3, 4 is being touched by 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So it cannot be any of this. Oh, sorry, 5 bhi galat hai. My mistake. I'm surprised. No one mentioned. This cannot be 5 because 5 is already touching. This will have to be 7. Right? What about this one? It is already being touched by 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So this has to be 8. And similarly, this has to be 9. Yeah. Now let's, so here I would say the number of numerals will go up. Okay. And the answer has to be greater than 4. Okay. So if the number of numerals has to be greater than 4, I can straight away say that choice C cannot be the answer. Shayan shall come back to question 4 in a minute. Okay. And questions for choice 5 also cannot be the answer. Why 5 cannot be the answer? If 25 है, इसका क्या मतलब है? Each cell is different. And so on and so forth till 25. So I will not, so 25 is not the minimum number of numerals. This is the maximum number of numerals. So 25 cannot be the answer. Okay. Shayansh, let me explain the logic again. Out here, what in question number 4, I'm assuming Shayansh question 1, 2, 3 are fine. Question number 4, it says all cells adjacent to a particular cell must have different numerals. So if this is 1, this 3 cells should also have different numerals. So let's say 2, 3, 4. Now, what should these two be? These two cannot be 1, 3, or 4 because 2 is already touching 1, 3, and 4. So these two have to be different from 3 and 4. 1, 3, and 4. What can they be? They can then be 5 and 6. Right? So 2 is touched by different numerals across everyone. In the previous one, it was said that the adjacent cells had to be different, but not all are different. Okay, Shayansh, I hope this is fine. Similarly, if I look at this particular cell, okay, this cell 3 is being touched by 1, 2, 4. Okay. Okay. So I can put a 5, but I put a 5 here. That means 4 is being touched by 5 in 2 places. So this cannot be 5. This will have to be 6. But that also means 6 is touching 4. So this cannot be 6 also. So next one is 7. Similarly, this cannot be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Next one is 8. And this one will be 9. So the same rule we will try to do with respect to question number 4. But the first thing I hope, why choice C and choice 4 are wrong, I hope that is clear. Okay. Okay, chalo. Now let's look at filling up this. But look at these two choices. क्या आंसर दिखता है? Most probably, this was a data set with which I took CAT 2018 slot 1 was my paper, and I started by saying yes, the answer 9 ही होना चाहिए, 16 looks too high. But let's do it. Let's check. So 1, 2, again 3, 4, right? Around to what we can have 5 and 6, right? And again, if I look at this, what will I do? It already has 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put 5, but 5 is not possible because then 4 will have 2 5s around it. Both the numbers have to be different. So I can put 6, but again 6 will be 4 will have 2 6 around it. Not possible. So this should be 7, 8, 9. So far, no issue at all. Right. What is the next thing? Can this be the same? It can be the same. 1, 3, 7. Now please check 5. Is 5 being touched by, is adjacent to different numbers? 1, 2, 4, 6, 3. Yes. What about 6? It is adjacent to 2, 4, 8, 9, 5, 1, 3, 7. So copying first column to the fourth column has worked. So the same thing we should do now. Column 2 and column 4, column 5 can be the same. Similarly, what about the rows? If in this particular case, we said that first row and fourth row have to be the same, that means first column and fourth column have to be the same, then first row and the fourth row should also be the same. Right? So let's copy fourth row out here. 1, 2, 5, 1, 2. And second thing we said was out here that second and fifth column are the same, then second and fifth row should also be the same. What? So second is 3, 4, 6, 3, 4. How many numerals we have used? 9. Correct answer, choice 4. So extremely good data set, extremely easy, I would say. Where do students get confused? What were the issues? Not familiar. And I maintained हमेशा से यार familiarity का कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. It is not familiarity is not issue, is an issue. Complexity is an issue. Okay. Second thing people did not like about this data set was minima maxima. Okay. Third thing people did not like about this was theta. Fourth thing that many students did not like about बहुत काम करेगा, lots of work. I'll have to draw. Okay, I'll have to draw 3 by 3 and 5 by 5 matrix. कितना time लगता है बना लेना. Okay, but once you understand the logic, you realize it is not difficult, and which is why I always say if a data set is not familiar, ऐसा set अगर पहले नहीं देखा है, it is something new, you are seeing it for the first time, most probably it will be an easy set. Guaranteed? No. But look at the past CAT papers and you realize whenever you have an unfamiliar, first time coming data set, it is usually easy, and that is why it is extremely important. जब unfamiliar चीज देखती है तो उसमें 2 मिनट लगा के please try and understand the data set and then decide. And second, the beautiful thing about was 3 by 3 matrix followed by 3 questions of 5 by 5 matrix, which means my job was to understand the logic based on 3 by 3, apply in 5 by 5. Secondly, question 2 gave me the answer to question 3 and also helped me to eliminate 2 out of the 4 choices in question number 4. That becomes extremely important. Okay. Asmit, Kozhikode is conducting the paper. So, CAT 26. So, I don't think it should be a problem as such. Don't worry about it. CAT normally does not change significantly from year to year. One odd section becomes slightly more easy or slightly more difficult. That is minor. The question types typically remain the same. Okay. Chalo, let's proceed then. Okay. So, yeah, ये तो भूल ही गया मैं बताना. Yes, raised to 99 on 2nd and 3rd August. So please remember to register. Again, it is free for all career launcher students, including test students, I think. And for the others, there's a nominal charge which you need to pay. But in Quant, in DILR, in VARC, we'll talk about Jugaad solutions, about ways to eliminate choices, about how to work faster. I can tell you that in QA section, typically we will find every CAT paper there about 1/3 of the question, let's say 6 to 8 questions, which can be solved by Jugaad. And that is what we will tell you how to pick up those questions, what are the basic rules to be looked at, what are the principles to be looked at, and based on that, I can assure you, in each of these sections, you can probably end up spending 4 to 5 extra questions. You can get about 4 to 5 extra questions in each of the 3 sections. And even if you look at, let's say, 10 questions across the 3 sections, not even 5, which is 3 questions per section. 10 questions across 3 sections, extra correct answers means at least 30 marks more. Which means from a 40, 45, you can straight away jump to a 70, 75 if not more. Okay? So extremely important session. This Saturday, Sunday, और कुछ नहीं करो ना करो, ये रेस टू 99 पक्का अटेंड करना है. All career launcher students, please go on to your MyZone, register for it immediately, and make sure you attend today. And there will be an exercise which is available. Please download it and solve it before the session. Okay. Ria, I'm not sure. Are you talking about Ria the race to 99 session? Or are you talking about today's session which I'm taking? For race to 99, the exercise will be shared with you in advance. Okay. And yes, those of you who are repeaters, those of you who are self-study and are a little jittery about your preparation, we have launched an online program at a fairly affordable price, which will run 5 to 7 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. So the idea being, if you want to revise everything, not enrolled with Career Launchers, preparing on your own, then this is a program you could look at. We'll quickly go through the entire thing and the basics, fundamentals, and yes, this includes a test series also. Okay. So anyone interested in the complete program at this point of time, to go through the entire process, because wherever you are preparing, you think there's something lacking in your preparation. And this is also available in terms of the modular program, which means you say, I want to do only verbal, that also is an available thing out here. Okay, there's Shreyansh. How many DILR sets should you solve per day? Shreyansh, maybe about 2 to 4 sets are good enough. I would say 2 to 4 sets, depending on the time available, is what you should be looking at. Okay, so just in case you want to connect with me, my phone number 9811155160 and my email ID is gp@careerlauncher.com. Okay, yes, so Raghav, absolutely right. We will be doing CAT 21, CAT 24 slot 2 paper. So please solve CAT 24 slot 2 paper, quant, DILR, verbal, all three of them before the session. Ishana, no, not really. Whatever download stuff will give you, that is the only thing. And by and large, it is CAT 24 paper, slot 2 paper. There would be some extra questions there apart from this particular paper in DILR and quant, because we want to explain certain principles before we go on to the CAT 24 slot 2 paper. Okay. So any more questions are there, I'll take them up. Otherwise, we'll close the session. Let me just check. Okay. प्रियांशु एक बार अटेंड कर लो पहले. Please attend Priyanshu race to 99. उसके बाद में इसे connect करना if there are still issues with you. Okay. So I'll stop here and good night. All the best. See you on race to 9 in the race to 99 session. Okay. Thank you. Good night.